Hi guys, my name is Xpulse and welcome to another vlog. So I'm here today with a very experienced and seasoned rider. His name is Suvanjan and he is an Xpulse owner right now. He has ridden this motorcycle for around 11,500 kilometers. So let's talk to him and let's gain some experience about motorcycling.
Hello and welcome you all to Shrek's vlogs. Special thanks to Shrek, my friend here, for arranging such a session with the Xpulse 200. Today we are going to sum up a few good and bad points about this motorcycle. Well, I have been riding a few different kinds of motorcycles over the years, both owned and of course from my previous experiences. So let's start with the Xpulse 200. So this motorcycle I have ridden for over 10,000 kilometers, 11,500 to be very precise. I have taken it to different terrains and I have already toured with it quite a lot, ridden in different kinds of terrains as well as with passenger and luggage. So the first good point I would like to highlight about this bike is the handling. So when the Impulse first came out, the motorcycle was pretty nimble and agile, but it lacked the highway stability that a modern rider requires. And if it's the only bike in your stable, you are going to need quite a few good points about this motorcycle, and so that it's not just used for rallies and stuff like that. So the handling is very precise and spot on, and coupled with the braking that it has, it's just marvelous. It just stops where you want it to on the highway as well as on dirt. It inspires confidence. The second good point about this motorcycle would be the features that it packs. For a price of just 1,10,000 rupees ex-showroom, you're getting a motorcycle with Bluetooth, which turn-by-turn navigation, then it has call and message alerts, and it has a USB charging port under the seat. It's just marvelous. The third best point about this motorcycle would be the tires. These tires are little off-road biased, but it performs really well even on asphalt, in rainy conditions as well. Just after the pandemic, when I started riding this motorcycle on the highways, I have ridden on really some difficult terrains, on the wet patches with plain, but it has been really good and it inspires a lot of confidence. This tire would not require you to change it to a softer compound, because this tire just holds up right enough. The fourth point I would like to highlight is the suspension travel. It comes with 220 mm suspension travel for a motorcycle of this size. It just enables you to take it absolutely anywhere. Even with a pillion, and myself, as you can see, I'm on the higher side in terms of the weight. With luggage, the overall load capacity of this motorcycle sort of is on the lower side, but even if you're a little heavier, you should not worry about it, because the suspension kind of handles everything. Recently I've been on a trip to northeastern part of Sikkim, where we had met roads with slush, with rough terrain, even landslide situations. With luggage and a pillion, it might seem a little difficult at first for a bike of this size, but it handles like an absolute champion. This motorcycle has the suspension which actually should come on a lot of motorcycles of this and beyond its current segment, because the suspension gives you the actual feel of riding an ADV. Well, this bike suits your pocket as well as give you the feel of a motorcycle with a great suspension travel. We do not get access to motorcycles such as the CRF 250s and the Yamaha 250 off-roaders, but this comes very close with it. So now let us talk about the bad points about this motorcycle. Actually, there are pretty less. compared to the positives on this motorcycle. But okay, let's start with the seat. The seat is particularly little tough around the edges, which kind of causes a problem on a longer ride. But of course, you can modify the seat with an extra layer of foam, which I have done currently to support the pillion. But I would have sort of expected it to have a little softer seat, because the rally seats which come in the rally kit of the offered by Hero, that already has motocross seats. So the standard seat would have been a little softer, keeping in mind the comfort of the tourers or people who use it as an all-rounder. Now let's talk about the second bad point. The second bad point would be the headlights. Particularly, this headlight has tremendous glow if you're facing it from the opposite direction, but behind the handlebar in rainy conditions, it comes with the usual problems that come with LEDs. But then this particular headlight needed a little more powerful bulb. Wattage capacity is pretty low for a bike which generates more power in terms of electricity. This could have used a better bulb. The overall build quality might look a little sturdy, but if you look into the details, the plastic quality is horrible on this. For example, this peg ends that you currently see, these are made of plastic and it's incredibly cheap quality. I've already changed mine thrice, and you could just knock it off with a hard punch, you know, it's so flimsy. For example, the rear foot peg without any impact had just flown off on a ride, which was very shocking to me, because there was absolutely no impact, there was no damage to it, and it did not happen on rough patches, it just happened on a plain, normal, simple highway under the sun. The third thing that happened was the pass switch. The pass switch kind of conked off just after 2 months. The service center promised me that it would be covered under the warranty and they would change this entire switchgear on the left, the LHS switchgear, but they have not been able to source the part yet, which is sort of sad. So if you go into the details, you will see a lot of rusting issues also on the motorcycle. For example, the plug leads, then certain parts of the spoke and certain nuts under the seat have already started rusting, and this motorcycle always stays under the cover in my garage, and the bike has not even seen one full riding season thanks to the pandemic. So this is something that I wouldn't have expected from Hero. So the fourth bad point about this motorcycle is equipped with spoke wheels with tube tires. Now you might think why I even pointed this out. This is pretty standard on off-road motorcycle, and it's always better to have spokes. But if you see current motorcycles like the RE Meteor, it comes with spoke wheels and tubeless tires. And if you see higher motorcycles such as the Multistrada 1200 Enduro, such as the Tiger 1200, they always used to come with spoke wheels and tubeless tires. Well, in this price bracket, you might not expect such a product, but if you would have bumped the price by around 10,000 bucks also, given it would have included tubeless lateral spokes, people would actually go for it, because it's really advantageous on bad terrain, because it's not always suitable to find a decent mechanic who would take off your tires, realign them and put it back. So today the last negative that I would like to point out about this motorcycle is the power output. While this is a BS4 carb version, this puts out around 19 PS of power. But if you are thinking that you would put a pillion and luggage and go to the hills, which I have done recently, you would have to think twice on this motorcycle, because you may not have the conditions right, or you may not have the certain skill sets to do it, but it required the usage of the first gear as well in many steep climbs, which is sort of putting a lot of stress on the engine, especially while climbing up to the northern point of Sikkim. It became a little difficult, but at the same time I would say the torque towards the lower end is decent enough to carry it, but the BHP does not support it towards when it carries the rev to the highest spectrum. The chassis of this motorcycle is good enough to support a 25-26 bhp engine, I guess, but I really hope that Hero listens to this and comes up with a variant which is much more powerful than this. Even the current BS6 generation that some of my friends have purchased, I've ridden that motorcycle, the power has even dropped to 17.5 PS, which is sort of, it's just sad, because of the other parts of the motorcycle which really holds up, and the power kind of lets you down.
So Suvanjan has shared 5 good points and 5 bad points. So under these points, do comment down below कि कौन सा पॉइंट आपको अच्छा लगा और कौन सा पॉइंट आपको ख़राब लगा. तो यहाँ पर ही करते हैं व्लॉग को एंड. ड्यू से